Hello my students at أطفال الرمثة النموذجية Academy. How are you today? I hope you're fine. So today we will start with page 41. Please open your box, page 41. And let's look first to these photos. Here we have 4 photos. Before you start, how do you think each of the people and things in the photos helped to explore space? So here we have 4 photos. We will know how to explore space using them. So, for example, let's look at number 1. What is this? This is a compass. Compass, بوصلة. It helps people to know the directions. Number 2, we have a rocket. A rocket. It helps people or the things to go to space. Number 3, we have an astronaut. He explores space and he helps the astronomers. Number 4, here we have 2 men and they are using the telescope to explore space this way. Now, listen to the words below in a context. Try to guess their meanings. Number 1, compass. Compass. He used a compass to find out which way north was. So what's the meaning of compass? Compass is an instrument that's used to show direction. Okay? Number 2, zero gravity. Zero gravity. In space, you can float because of zero gravity. What's the meaning of zero gravity? Zero gravity means to be no force of gravity in action. It's a noun. Number 3, navigate. To navigate. To navigate, you should use a map. Navigate means to find which way you need to go when you are traveling. Number 4, launch. Launch. When you are going to launch another rocket into space. Launch means send a spacecraft into the sky. Number 5, catapult. A catapult can throw things much further than a person ever could. It means a device used to throw things with a great force. Destination. Destination. I went to an airplane from Beirut. My destination was London. Destination means the place that someone or something is going to. And the last one, astronomer. Astronomer. The astronomer spent hours studying the stars all night. Astronomer means a scientist who studies the stars and planets. Now you can open your activity book page 67 to know the meanings. Number 1, we have a compass, an instrument that's used to show directions. Number 2, in the next page, zero gravity, to be no force of gravity in action. Number 3, navigates, to find which way you need to go. Number 4, launch, it's a verb, to send a spacecraft into the sky. Number 5, catapult, it means a device used to throw things with a great force. And number 6, destination, is the place that someone or something is going to. And the last one, number 7, astronomer, is a scientist who studies the stars and planets. Move to the blue things. Find the words. Find the words. Number 1, a device is used to throw things with a great force. What is this? What is this? A device used to throw things with a great force. It's a catapult. It's a catapult. Number 2, a scientist who studies the stars and planets is the astronomer. Astronomer. Number 3, to send something like a spaceship into orbit is to launch. To launch. So here you can find the answers. Here you can find the answers. Number 1, catapult. Number 2, astronomer. Number 3, launch. Move to the next page. Page 42, exercise number 2, reading. Read the article. Can you think of other way of sending people into space? We will think about that later. Let's read the strategies first. First, read the text as a whole to get a general idea. Next, read each paragraph with the sentence gap again to identify the topic of each paragraph. So first, we will read the text, all the text. Number 2, we will read each paragraph. Number 3, read the sentences before and after the gap. Then we will try to put the answers in the gaps. Number 4, for each gap, find the sentence that matches the topic of the paragraph and link with the sentence before and after it. So the number 5, we will put them in the correct place. Let's start reading. Taking a trip to space. Can you imagine going into space and being able to float in air? Richard Branson's company is offering short journey into space for everyone who can afford it. For around $200,000, you could go on a trip. The spaceship will be in 2 parts and will be able to hold 2 pilots and 6 passengers. So in the spaceship will be 2 pilots, 6 passengers. The plan is for 3.5-hour flight. Number 1, here we have a blank. Then it will launch the shuttle over 100 km high and break off. Number 2, we have a gap. This is not the only private company that wants to offer a short trip into space. Number 3, it sounds dangerous. So here we have a dangerous idea. But it's an idea that goes back to Sir Isaac Newton in the 18th century. Rockets are expensive and need a huge amount of fuel. Number 4, however, humans might not survive the force needed to send them to stars. Let's continue. Exercise number 3. Here we have A, B, C, D. We will fill them in 1, 2, 3, 4. رح نحط A, B, C, D بترتيب صحيح in 1, 2, 3, 4 up there. Follow the stage in reading strategies box to find the correct sentences from A to T for each gap from 1 to 4 in the text. Let's read them. After that, passengers can undo their seatbelts and enjoy the feeling of zero gravity in the shuttle. B. So, instead of being driven by rockets, a spaceship could be thrown into space. So this is the idea. C. First of all, أولاً, bigger ship will carry the passenger shuttle into the air. D. Another possible method of launching people into space is a space catapult. Now let's do them. Number 1, the spaceship will be in 2 parts and will be able to hold 2 pilots and 6 passengers. The plan is for a 3.5-hour flight with C. First of all, because this is the first one. First of all, a bigger ship will carry the passenger shuttle into the air. Then it will launch the shuttle over 100 km high and break off. Number 2, with A. After that, passengers can undo their seatbelts and enjoy the feeling of zero gravity in the shuttle. This is not the only private company that wants to afford a short trip into space. Number 3, with D. Another possible method of launching people into space is a space catapult. It sounds dangerous. This idea, it sounds dangerous. Let's move to number 4 with B. So, instead of being driven by rockets, a spaceship could be thrown into space. Because before that, we talked about Isaac Newton and his idea for offering a short trip into space using the catapult. So number 4 would be, however, a human might not survive because this is a bad idea or it's a dangerous idea. The force needed to send them to stars. To exercise number 4, vocabulary. Find these words in the completed text and guess their meanings. So we have to know the meanings of these words. Let's start with number 1. Seatbelt. What's the meaning of seatbelt? Used for prediction an accident, or used for covering the seat, or used to indicate speed? The right answer is used for protection in an accident. Number 2, a shuttle is a spaceship. It's the same meaning. Shuttle means a spaceship. Number 3, to afford means to have enough money to pay for something. And number 4, to break off means to separate. Exercise number 5. Read the article again and answer these questions. You have to answer these questions. Let's start with the first one. What will people be able to do in zero gravity? This is a question for you. What will people be able to do in zero gravity? يعني if you have no gravity, no force of gravity, ما في جاذبية. What will people do? Here you have the answer. People will be able to float in zero gravity. This is number 1. Number 2, did Newton think that space travel would be possible one day? Explain your answer. What about Newton? What did Newton say? So number 2, according to Newton, people could be catapulted into space. يعني رح يرموهم بالمنجنيق أو in a way or another catapulted. Send them into space by force. Number 3, do you think space travel will become more popular for tourists in the future? Why? Why not? This is a question for you. Do you think? So it's about your ideas. If you think people will go on a space travel one day for the future, so you say, yes, I think space travel will become more popular for tourists. And if you don't think that, you say, no, I don't think so because, and you have to mention your reasons, okay? Mention your reason here. Exercise number 6. Listen to the passage about Muslim astronomer and their inventions and fill in the blanks. So we will fill in the blanks by listening. Let's start listening.
Side 2. Module 4, page 43, exercise 7.
Do you ever wonder how aeroplanes and ships reach their destinations without getting lost? The history of science shows us that it's more than just luck. Astronomers studied the universe for a long time and found ways to map the Earth by looking at the stars. Muslim astronomers like Al-Fazari and Al-Khwarizmi changed the way we understand our planet, and others, like Ibn al-Shatir, showed us how to navigate it. Ibn al-Shatir invented both the magnetic compass and the sundial. These inventions allowed people to find their way to Mecca more easily, and even to know the times for prayer throughout the day. Today, aeroplanes and ships use the compass for navigation.
Then, do you ever wonder how aeroplanes and ships reach their destination? Number 1, destination. وجهة, without getting lost. The history of science shows that it's more than just luck. Number 2, astronomers studied the universe for a long time and found ways to map the Earth by looking at the stars. Muslim astronomers like Al-Fazari and Al-Khwarizmi changed the way we understand our planet. And others like Ibn al-Shatir showed us how to navigate. Number 3, navigate it. Ibn al-Shatir invented both the magnetic compass, number 4, compass, and the sundial, الساعة الشمسية. These inventions allowed people to find their way to Mecca more easily and even to know the times for prayer, number 6, prayer, throughout the day. Today, the airplanes and ships use the compass for navigation. Number 8, move to number 8. Read the notes on Venus and Mercury. Choose one planet and think about whether or not we could live on it. Would it be easy to live there? Remember that to survive, you must breathe and the planet air and suffer its climate. So here we have notes about Mercury. Here we have notes about Venus. We will read them, then we will write about them. So this was your homework. Let's read them. Life on Mercury. Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun. It revolves very slowly. A day on Mercury lasts 58 Earth days. The temperature on the side facing the Sun is around 415 Celsius. The temperature on the side facing away from the Sun is around minus 170 Celsius. A year on Mercury lasts 88 Earth days. It has a very thin atmosphere, no water, no wind, and no weather. Mercury has no moons. Number 2, life on Venus. Venus is the second planet from the Earth. It revolves backwards. A day on Venus lasts 243 Earth days. Venus is the hottest planet in the solar system, around 470 Celsius. Its atmosphere consists of carbon dioxide. Venus has no moons, but it has mountains and volcanoes. So this was your homework. I gave it to you to write about either Mercury or Venus. You choose one of them. You write about it. You write about if you can live on it or not. Thank you for watching this video. See you next time, inshallah. Have a nice day. Goodbye.